Hey Pilates people, welcome to Connect and Move. My name is Jessica. Today I have for you kind of a posterior chain focused workout, and all that means is we're working a lot on the backside. So a lot of glutes, hamstrings, some upper back work. We will still make this full body. We'll still be working some abs and a little bit of front. But I've been feeling just so tight in my hip flexors lately. I've just been needing some opening in the front of my body. So you will need your box, your reformer, of course, and your beautiful self, right? So, and a knee pad, because we will be doing some kneeling stuff if you need it. We're gonna be starting with some heavy springs, because we're gonna be starting right off with some bridging. So for me, I actually have two mediums, a heavy and a light. So for my balanced body, it's two reds, a green and a blue. And maybe you have two heavy springs, so you could do two heavies and a medium instead of doing 4 springs. So we're gonna start lying down with some bridging and get into some footwork. So you will, of course, honor your body. If you need to make spring adjustments of your body, right, you're gonna do so. So make sure that you are centered on your carriage. Let's go ahead and place, in fact, you pick either heels, arches, or toes on for your bridge, all right? So I want you to find that long line of energy out through the crown of your head and down through your tailbone. Feel the arms stretch just as far down into the mat, and then feel your collarbones open and your palms press firmly into the mat. You've got equal weight into your feet wherever you have them. Take a big expansive breath in here, and then on your exhale, I want you to feel your stomach muscles kick on as you tilt your pubic bone back, and then just roll your hips up maybe halfway, just a half bridge to start, and pause. Find your inner thighs, right? So we're not letting the knees go out wide. And then keep your hips high as long as you can as you melt down through your spine. A lot of times we like to just fall down. Let's do that again. Pubic bone tilts back. Lift up just halfway. Pause at the top. Feel the pull of the carriage home. The arms get longer and heavier. And then roll down, roll down, roll down. Good, so arms just stay doing a constant chest expansion into the mat. We lift the hips up, go up to that halfway point, find a little bit more openness in the front of the throat, and then roll down, roll down, roll down. All right, next one, you can go up a little bit higher if you choose. And then once you're at the top of your bridge, I want you to feel equal weight not only between right and left foot, but into your feet, right? So just check in if you're rolling out or in. And now can you get the upper arm bones a little bit heavier into the mat? Good, yep, and think pubic bone higher than your 2 hip points. And now keeping that stable pelvis, just press the carriage out a little bit, right? It's heavy, and then pull the carriage back in. Inhale takes you out, exhale pulls you in. Take these slow, because I want you to send your energy, send your thoughts to the back of your legs, your seat. It is working very hard. You've got 2. Neck is long. Last one here. And then go and pull that carriage all the way in. Soften through the chest a little bit more, but keep your pubic bone lifted. And now feel yourself round into yourself. Roll down, roll down, roll down. All right, so let's come onto the toes. You can either be Pilates V or hip socket distance apart. So feel every toe pad connect to your foot bar. Heels are just a little lifted. And now go ahead and press that carriage out on a full inhale and pause at the top. Allow the heavy spring to let the shoulder block slide into your shoulders and feel that lovely neck stretch. And then bend your knees, come all the way home. We inhale, stretch open the springs, and then exhale, pull yourself home. All right, so again, working into the back body here. So channel your energy to the back of your legs, your hips, your butt cheeks as you go out and in. Very easy to go into the quads here. Keep those inner thighs energized. And the upper body is just doing that constant chest expansion into the mat. Let's do 2. Last one, hold it out here. Lower your right heel under as your left knee bends. Actively flex that right foot to get a deeper stretch. And now lift that heel up. We're back into high heels. Left heel lowers. Again, actively flex that left foot. And then come back up into high heels. Right heel lowers down. Now, make sure that your pelvis hasn't tucked under. I want you to feel the back of the thigh draw down to the floor. And then maybe you can feel like the top of your thigh lengthen and open. And now let's do the same on the other side. Left heel goes under. Back of the thigh draws down to the floor, down to the floor. And then lift and switch. And now we pick up the pace a little bit, channeling that same kind of down energy. So tailbone stays heavy. And the weight is even across your toe pads. Both kneecaps looking up to the ceiling. We've got 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Go ahead and lift the heels up high. Stay in parallel. Now lower both heels under. Actively flex those feet and then lift the heels up. Good. So as we lower and lift heel, try to keep your pelvis stable. All right. So a lot of times we like to tuck as the heels lift. But keep that sensation of back of the legs kind of dragging across the floor of the springs. We have 2. And last one. Good. Lift the heels, bend the knees, and come all the way in. All right. Let's take the position now wide onto the foot bar. And let's go heels on. All right. We've got a little bit of a turnout here. And your feet are flexed. All right. Tailbone once again is heavy. Arms are heavy as well. Go ahead and drive that carriage out. And then bend the knees, come all the way home. So each time those legs go straight, feel the back of the thighs draw down, the top of the thighs open, and then resist back in. You're driving right through the center of those heels. And don't forget about those little pinky toes. They are pulling back just as much as your big toes. We've got 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Now pull the carriage in halfway here. Again, think of those butt crease muscles coming to the party just a bit more and do these little pulses out an inch and in an inch here. Pull all 10 toes back towards your shins. Should be feeling a little bit of activation through the shin bones here. We got 3, 2, 1. Go all the way out first and then bend the knees, come all the way home. We're gonna stay in this position and we're gonna do another little bridge. So think like pelvic lift just with heels on. So curl the tailbone under, find a little hover of your hips, maybe like 3 inch, and now keep that hover and now press the carriage all the way out. And now when you're out here, keep the ribs heavy into the mat, but your tailbone curling up and over your pelvis. And now pull the carriage all the way home. So drive the carriage out, keep the pubic bone pulling back towards your navel, and then resist to come all the way in. So that pelvis is gonna wanna flatten out as you go out. But try your best to keep it tilted back. And if you're tight like me on your hip flexors, you might even be getting like a little stretch right there in your hip creases. So fight for that. If anything, you're feeling your seat though. Let's do 3 more. Pull those toes back. Neck is still long. And 2. And last one. Bring that carriage all the way in, all the way into the stopper, and then melt down, melt down. All right, inch away from the blocks a little bit here. I want you to grab onto the shoulder blocks so your elbows are pointed up to the sky. If this is not for you, you can always take your hands wide and grab on to either the blocks or the pegs. So bring your legs up into tabletop, zip your legs up together. I want you to feel like you're kind of pulling down on those shoulder blocks. If you're wide, you're gonna pull them apart, all right? So neckline stays long. You're gonna inhale as the legs shift over to the right, allow your left hip to lift, and then exhale, come back to center. Inhale over to the left, keep those knees level, and then exhale back to center. Inhale over to the right, and exhale back to center. You got it. Inhale over to the left, and exhale back to center. One more time each side. Over to the right, Exhale, draw the belly down to pull the legs back to center. Last one here. Lift that right hip, go over, and then exhale back to center. Bring your right knee into your chest as your left leg extends out. Curl the head, neck, and shoulders up if it's for you. And now push that shin up and into your hand. So maybe you curl up higher and then switch legs. And switch. And switch. Now, if you want to play around with just maybe feeling something different, as the leg goes straight, maybe you push it down into the foot bar and then switch, right? So we activate the back of the leg as the leg goes out. So once again, trying to get out of those hip flexors, right? We need them to be strong, but sometimes they just get so tight. Elbows are wide, just like your hug arms, for 3 and 2 and 1. Now hug both knees into your chest. Grab onto the back of your legs and flex your feet. So I want you to push the legs into the hands and maybe again, rock up a little bit higher. Keep the heels flexed and now straighten the legs out as your hands just kind of glide down the back of your legs and push the legs down and into the hands. And then hands glide up as your knees bend all the way in. So feel like you're kicking down a door as those legs go out straight. Pull those toes back and keep the chest lifted as your knees come all the way back in. Easier said than done. Again, press those legs out. Hold, 2, 3, and then bend all the way back in. Last one like this. Press the legs out. Hold here. Neckline is long. Now point your toes and flex your feet. Spread your toes and kind of fan them as you point and flex. You can always keep your head down. No worries. We've got 3. Hug those inner thighs together. And 2. And last one, flex your feet. Bring the knees all the way back in and lower down. All right, go ahead and straighten the legs out over the foot bar. Zip up through the inner thighs. Once again, feel like the legs press down into the foot bar. Arms reach up to the ceiling. Take a big expansive breath. And then on your exhale, you're gonna roll yourself all the way up, up, up. Now, when you're here at the top, grab onto either your legs or the foot bar and just pull yourself forward. And as you're pulling yourself forward, think of getting longer in your waist, longer in your spine, and then stack your spine up tall. Let go of whatever it is you're holding on to. Feel the energy down and out through the arms, and then roll the pelvis away from the thighs, round back, round back, round back. Head goes down into the shoulder or the headrest. Again, use your exhale. Grab onto your legs if you need. Oop, got a hair stuck. It was pulling me back. And now pause here at the top. Can you get your legs straighter? All right, think energy coming off of those toes and then roll yourself back, back, back. We have one more like this. Again, use your exhale. Broad collarbone even as you come up, up, up. All right, we're gonna take the legs off to the side. We are now gonna come to one medium spring. One medium spring. We're gonna come kneeling on the carriage. So my hands are gonna be on the shoulder blocks to start, and I'm gonna try to get my knees underneath my hips. So obviously feet and some shins will be hanging off. All right, so think like you're doing a plank because you kind of are. I'm gonna take my right heel up onto the foot bar, all right? So I'm just gonna press the carriage out and pause here. Everybody drop your right hip down a little bit because boy, oh boy, it wants to open, right? And then just bend that knee, bring the carriage home. Drive the carriage out and then come back in. So this is just like your footwork with heels on, only now we're just flipped upside down. So I want you to think of that right hip going down as the back of the thigh kind of lifts up to the ceiling. Just think about it. Again, neckline is long. I know it's a light spring, but we're gonna do a couple other things while we're here. So let's do 3. Drive right to the center of that heel. And 2. And last one, press the carriage out. And if it's available, let the carriage go out further, right? Go out further, out further. And then once you're here, maybe you add a little extension to your spine. And then you kind of bring the carriage in under you, bend that back knee, carriage comes home. All right, press the carriage out. You kind of glide that knee forward. You can always keep it there and then just add extension here, right? That's an option too. So bring that knee underneath your hip, bring the carriage all the way home. One more like this, press the carriage out. So what I want you to find is this length out through that back leg and a stretch in the top of that thigh. Bring the knee under you, bring the carriage all the way home. All right, now I want you to come down to either hands on the mat or down onto your forearms, okay? So strong connection with your arms here. You're gonna straighten that right leg back behind you, okay? I can feel now I'm touching the wall here. So again, drop your right hip down a little bit and now float that leg up and then lower it down. I'm gonna come up on my hands for this one. We lift the leg up and down. Try to keep the shape of your spine as you lower and lift that leg. We have 2 and 1. Now hold that leg lifted. Now I want you to open up that top hip. So like I was trying to roll my right hip over my left hip and then just lower that hip back down. Roll that hip open and then back down. Now we're gonna add on. We roll that top hip open and now bend into that knee. Feel like that right foot could reach around and touch your left shoulder. And now center yourself out, straighten that leg, all right? We open up the hip, we bend into that knee, and then we come back to center. 2 more times here. Keep your tailbone long, and then back to center. Strong push down into that left shin, last one here. And then back to center, lower that shin down. Okay, bring your hands or your left hand up onto that shoulder block again. Right hand reaches down for your long loop. We're just gonna do some single arm pulls. All right, so square your body off, press your shins down into the mat, and then pull that straight arm back towards your hip, and then slowly release the arm. Choke up if you need, change a spring if you need. So think of this as kind of a pull straps, a lat pull down, a one arm chest expansion. Strong grip with your fists and with your pinky. Heart is reaching forward and your chest is square, right? Because I'm wanting to twist so bad to get that arm back there. Now on this next one, I want you to hold it back there. Can you get the arm straighter? And now bend that elbow and then straighten the arm. We bend the elbow and straighten the arm. So how stable can you keep everything else as this elbow bends and straightens? I don't know if I'm sore from the other day or what, but these are tough. Pull those collarbones apart. We have 2. And last one, arm stays straight and then lower all the way down. Go ahead and hang up that strap. Hands come back to the shoulder blocks. Left heel comes up onto that foot bar. We're gonna drive that carriage out, hold out here. Get your hips square, make sure that your right knee is under your right hip as best you can, and then bend the knee, bring it all the way in. And of course, if being up onto the shoulder blocks is too much on the hands or wrists, you can always come down here. I know sometimes those shoulder blocks, they feel a little hard. And just like footwork, think long line of energy out through the crown of your head, back through your tailbone. And you're driving right through the center of that heel. We've got 3, and 2, and 1. Now we go all the way out if you can. All the way out. Lift the chest, maybe do like a little baby extension here, and then bring the knee under your hip, bring the carriage all the way home. Again, we press it out. Let that left hip really drop down. And then bring it all the way in. All right, again, press it out. Open up your heart, lift the chest, lift the collarbones, and then knee comes under you. Bring the carriage all the way home. All right, find your favorite position, right? Either hands down or forearms down. You're gonna straighten that left leg back behind you. All right, think of it reaching out of your hip, and now we just lift the leg and lower it. Think of the base of the ribs lifting up away from the floor, just like you would do a plank, right? Find your inner thighs. I can feel that this leg wants to go out to the side so bad. And I don't know about you, but for me on this side, my leg wants to turn out, so I'm having to think of it almost spiraling in. Now lift the leg up, and now open up that top hip. Open, 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 and then lower the hip back down. We open up, push into that mat, and then back down. One more like this. Push into that bottom shin as well, and then back down. Now we open up the hip, we bend into that knee. Oh, reach it back behind you, and then square yourself off. Leg goes straight. Again, up and over. It's your single leg kick, just adding a little hip twist, and then back to center. Again, open, open, reach, 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 reach around. Keep your tailbone long here. Last one, make it count. And then back to center, and then take the shin back down. Realign yourself. Hand come back up to that shoulder block. Left hand into your long loop. Push down through your shins. Again, find your inner thighs. Arms stay straight. It pulls down and back behind you. And then slowly release. So as my fist goes back, I'm thinking of my left chest reaching forward and almost down a little bit, because again, I really want to twist open into this. And that arm is going to hug in towards your midline as it goes back, and squeeze your pinky around that strap. We have two, and then we have those tricep presses. Last one, hold the arm back there wherever you can. Bend the elbow, and then straighten the arm. Really squeeze the back of your arm as it goes straight. Don't jip yourself of that fun, juicy contraction. Woo, we have 4 strong, straight wrists, and 3, and 2. And last one, hold that arm straight for just a second, and then slowly lower it down. Go ahead and hang up that strap. Nice work. All right, we are going to stay kneeling, but I want you to place a light spring on. So we have a medium and a light spring. And if you have 2 light springs, place the lighter of the 2 on. So for balanced body, I have a blue and a yellow. I'm gonna place the yellow on. I'm gonna hook my feet around the edge of the mat here, hip socket distance apart. I'm gonna reach down and maybe choke up a little bit, maybe onto my short loops. Again, you pick. All right, so chest expansion now with both arms. I want you to pull all 10 toes or the tops of your feet into the mat. Your pubic bone is forward, but your chest is also over your hips, right? So try to find that plumb line. And then with the strong, straight arm, pull the arms down and back and pause here. Feel your chest roll open. Feel the arms get straighter and longer, and then slowly release the arms. So hold your plumb line, you're a statue, and now pull the arms down and back and pause here. Hug the inner thighs, punch down through the fists, and then slowly release the arms. 2 more like this, pull the arms down and back. Can you get the arms a little bit straighter? And now turn your head to the right, and now turn your head to center or over to the left, and then come back to center. Slowly release the arms. Again, pull the arms down and back. Lift up through the crown of the head. Turn your head to the left. Turn your head all the way over to the right, all the way over. And then come back to center. Slowly release the arms. All right, you're gonna place another medium spring on. So we have 2 mediums and a light for your thigh stretch. So knees come forward, still hip socket distance apart. Most shoulder blocks are wider than that, so you might have to split them, or the shoulder blocks split the center of your thigh. Choke up for thigh stretch. So push down into your tops of your feet and your shins. Arms just stay straight, they're along for the ride. You're gonna hold this flat plank spine, and now hinge back, hinge back, hinge back, and then lift yourself all the way up. And I forgot to cue this. For everybody for the first few, I want you to kind of look down a little bit And then keep the pelvis driving forward and then go back, go back, go back, go back, and then lift yourself back up. If you like this, stay with this, right? Otherwise you can hold more of a flat back. And then push into those feet to lift yourself up. All this is a reverse hamstring curl. And then lift, lift, lift. All right, you can stay with that, or we can do a little extension. So I want you to go back to the point of control. Take your gaze up the wall, up the ceiling. Find that spear through your upper back. Keep your booty activated, and then nod your chin. Kind of Britney Spears, roll yourself out of it. One more like that. All right, go back, keep the energy into the shins. Now puff up the chest. Keep driving the pubic bone forward. Let your gaze go back if it's available. And now nod your chin, soften through the chest, and then roll yourself all the way up. Nice work. We're gonna hang up those straps, and now we're gonna grab our long box. Long box is gonna come on, and we are going to place a light spring. So if you have the 2, I would go 1 above, right? So for me, I'm gonna place my blue instead of my yellow. Remember, you can always switch. So you're gonna have a seat on your box facing the back end of your reformer. It's a light spring, so be careful. All right, so let's start with your hands kind of on the webbing, or like right before where your straps hook in, okay? So you're just gonna sit up tall here. Legs are zipped up, push down through all corners of your feet. Take a big expansive breath in here at the top, and then on your exhale, start to curl the tailbone under. All right, carriage is going to move, and then roll yourself back. Roll yourself back. I just want you to go back to maybe where your waistband touches the mat. And now keep your pelvis still for as long as you can. And now lead with your chest as your ribs go back. Chest goes forward, ribs go back, and then come all the way up, 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 stacking up tall. Let's do that again. Push into those feet, pelvis moves first. Roll back, roll back, roll back. Find your waistband into the mat if you can. So really big pull back of your pubic bone. And now chest comes up, ribs go back. Chest comes up, ribs go back. I'm shaking, and then come all the way up, up, up. Good, last one like this. Well, kind of. Roll yourself back. You know we lie. Roll back, hug your inner thighs. And then roll yourself all the way up, up, up. All right, now I want you to get a good grip. Palms are facing in towards one another. Okay, so arms are gonna stay relatively straight. You're gonna keep a strong flat back. We're gonna open the arms out wide to the sides and then bring the arms back in. Think of this as just a seated pull straps too. And if you have a mirror in front of you, I want you to see that the sides of your neck are staying long, right? You're gonna channel that sensation even if you can't see yourself. And if you are starting to feel this in your neck, just lower the arms down a little bit, right? They don't have to be crazy high. Pinkies are wrapping around those straps. We've got 3. Open up that wingspan as they go out wide. And 2, nice, slow and controlled. Last one here, punch out through those fists and then slowly release back through the arms. Just go ahead and forward fold here. Give yourself a moment and then stack your spine all the way up. All right, so now we're gonna do another version of chest expansion, just adding in some spinal movement. So arms stay straight, pull the arms down and back, and now puff up the chest. Like really, really exaggerate this chest opening to the ceiling. And then as the arms come forward, nod your chin and now round into yourself. That might mean you lean forward, it might mean you lean back. You pick. And now start to stack up tall through center, pull the arms down and back, puff up the chest, and then round into yourself. Arms go forward, tailbone curls under. All right, this is a seated pull straps. Puff up that chest, get those arms longer, and then round into yourself, push into those feet, roll back. Last one like this. Arms get longer, neck gets longer, and then round, pull back through the ribs as the arms come forward. All right, so now take your hands to the short loops. We're gonna do those half rollbacks, but we're gonna add in that back fly. So arms straight out in front of you, palms facing in. Push into your feet, roll yourself back, back, back. And now hold here. Keep the shape of your spine. And now open the arms out wide to the side. And then arms come back in. So everything else stays super stable. Right? And your roll back might look a little different from mine. That is okay. You're working to your point of control, challenge, all the things. And I'm having to remind myself to wrap those pinkies around a little bit more here. Find your inner thighs. We've got 3. How you feeling? Things a little shaky. And 2, open up that wingspan. Last one here. And then slowly release the arms back in front of you. And then with control, roll all the way up, up, up. Nice work. Go ahead and hang up those straps. You're gonna walk your feet onto the frame. Now, if you have a narrow frame like this, just do the best you can to get like a center, good connection with your feet. We're gonna do kind of a bridge / semicircle. So I'm gonna shift my hips off of the box. Make sure that your ribs are on the box, or really your upper back here, okay? And then if you can, try to get your feet in line with one another. And also, again, just that same connection between both sides. I don't care what you do with the arms, do what feels natural. Try a couple different things, okay? They can be behind your head, reaching back behind you. So I want you to just let your hips kind of fall down. Just be careful of whatever you got going on down there. And just feel this opening across the front of the chest and ribs. And just breathe into this stretch. And now take a big breath in here. And then on your exhale, curl the tailbone under. Feel your low abdomen kind of kick on as you do that. And now drive the hips up, up, up. Pause here at the top. Get that somewhat of a tripod connection down through your feet. And then feel the ribs soften first. There you go. And then your mid back. And then your low back. And go all the way down, down, down. Take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, tailbone curls under. Right? Resist that chest from popping until the very last moment. There you go. Drive that pubic bone up to the sky. And then the same thing here. Exhale, soften the sternum, the ribs, melt everything away, away, away. All right, let's do that again. Tailbone curls under. Roll the hips up, up, up. Pause here at the top. Now, if you can you pull yourself towards your feet? So carriage will move and then back out. It's not a huge pull. Pull yourself in a little bit and then back out. Keep that tailbone reaching right to the center of your reformer. You got it. Woo! Can you drive your pelvis up a little bit higher? You've got 4 and 3 and 2. And last one here. Release that carriage back with control. And I like to just take my hands back to the edge of the box and kind of slide myself up ever so gracefully. And then carefully roll yourself all the way up. All right, we are going to finish with a swan. So I want you to place a medium and a really light spring on. All right, so come lying down. Forehead is in line with your foot bar. Legs, you pick, either zipped up or slightly apart. Hands are gonna go wide onto your foot bar. Find a pull apart here so you feel like your armpits and your shoulder girdle kind of kick on. And now press the carriage out to long arms. Make sure that when your arms are straight, that the sides of your neck are long. And now bend your elbows, pull that carriage all the way home. So this is your shave here. Your pubic bone is heavy into the mat. Your tailbone is long. And now let's add some breath. Inhale takes you out. And then exhale pulls you home. Inhale takes you out. Exhale, you get longer to come home. All right, we're gonna inhale to stay out there or to press out. Exhale to stay. And now inhale, lift your chest up. Reach your heart through the arms. And then lengthen to come all the way down down, down. Once you're down in that long line, bend the elbows wide again, pull yourself home, press the carriage back out, push down into those palms, open the collarbones, lift the heart up through center, and then lengthen all the way down, down, down. Again, bend those elbows wide. Keep the energy into the legs. We're still working back there. Pull apart on that foot bar, lift, 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 and then come all the way back down through center. Bend the elbows wide again. And then we've got one more. I don't know if I said one more, but we're gonna do one more. Last one, we lift. Find a little bit of external rotation in those upper arm bones, and then come all the way back down, down, down. Bend the elbows wide, bring the carriage all the way home. All right, we're gonna step off. We're gonna take the box away. We are gonna finish with an inner thigh stretch. I know we said we're gonna finish with the Swan, but here, I really mean it this time. So you have one medium spring on. One foot is gonna go underneath the reformer, and I've got another foot up by the shoulder block. So right, I've got my left foot here, but do either side that you're on. You're gonna press the carriage out. Both legs are gonna go straight. Hands come to the opposite side or the opposite frame of the reformer. And then when you're here, I want you to actively seek out those tight places. So walk your hands to the right. Walk them to the left. Dip your chest down, stick the booty out, round your spine. Again, seek out those tight places. And now take a big, big breath in. And then on your exhale, carefully walk that carriage all the way in. Find your foot bar. And let's do the other side. So one foot goes under, other foot goes up at that shoulder block. Carefully press the carriage out. Hands come down. And same thing here. Walk your hands over to the right, over to the left. Give yourself a twist. I know we didn't do a lot of spinal movement today. It was more about opening up the front of the hips. And then on your next exhale, carefully walk the carriage in, and you are done. I appreciate you being here.